Donald Trump is encouraging civil war. After the ICE shooting that happened, Donald Trump said in an interview that the left-wing violence in this country is out of control and they better stop pushing the right because the right is tougher than the left. And they better not get them energized because it won't be good for them. That is a cosign for violence from MAGA. Let's go to that video.
There was another shooting at an ICE facility in Texas yesterday. Terrible. Detainees were killed. The FBI director posted on social media bullets that were engraved with the message anti-ICE. Right. He just posted another thing on social media saying they recovered a handwritten note from the subject that read, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with AP rounds on that roof?" Who do you hold responsible for the uptick in left-wing violence in the country?
Radical left rhetoric. The radical left is causing the problem. They're out of control. They're saying things, and they're really dumb people. I mean, I look at Crockett, I look at some of these people. They're very low IQ people, actually. But the radical left is causing this problem, not the right, the radical left. And it's going to get worse, and ultimately it's going to go back on them. I mean, bad things happen when they play these games. And I'll give you a little clue. The right is a lot tougher than the left. But the right's not doing this. They're not doing it, and they better not get them energized because it won't be good for the left. And I don't want to see that happen either. I'm the president of all the people. But the radical left is causing this. The radical left Democrats are causing this problem, and it gets worse. It gets worse, and it'll be a point where other people won't take it anymore, and that will not be good for the radical left, and we don't want that. Okay, thank you.
You're right, Donald Trump. You are the president. So why are you inciting violence and making domestic threats in your own country? He said it'll be a point where other people won't take it anymore. This tells us a few things. After Charlie Kirk's death, Trump clearly saw the reaction from MAGA online threatening civil war. You know the videos where they were threatening to clean house and go door to door, just give us the word? Let's go to one of those videos.
Let's try to get this video in front of Donald Trump, in front of President Trump, excuse me. Sir, you took the same oath as millions of veterans in this country, over 13 million veterans in this country, most of whom are conservative. We took the same oath to defend our country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. These leftists are our enemies. This is no longer left versus right. This is good versus evil. You have, give or take, 3 years left. If you call for a civil war, the conservative veterans in this country will take our country back from the evil left Nazis who have destroyed our country, who mutilate our children, who rape our children, who coddle pedophiles. They don't even call them pedophiles anymore. They're minor attracted persons. This is good versus evil, Mr. President. We will follow you. We will take this country back. And what we start here will echo around the world. Italy, Germany, Ireland, France, UK, Poland, Hungary. Everybody's tired of it. Everybody's tired of this leftist, woke bullshit that is ruining our countries. We use words, they use bullets. Mr. President, I implore you, call for a civil war. Call for a civil war and let us do our thing. Let us go door to door, street by street, and clean this country. Please, if you're watching this, and you share the same sentiment, send it to Donald Trump. Share it on your page. Whatever. Get this message out there. This is not a joke. I'm a peaceful man. Time for peace is over. I'm willing to fight and I'm willing to die. We are all Charlie Kirk.
Mind you, this is before even knowing who the shooter was. This is when the only lead they had on the shooter was a rumor that they were trans. And there were hundreds of videos like this. And after they found out it was a straight white male whose family was MAGA, we never heard from them again. These people are waiting for any type of opportunity, any excuse. They are bloodthirsty. And instead of Donald Trump denouncing this, he said they better not get them energized because it won't be good for them. They can only be pushed for so long. The ICE shooter shot 3 ICE detainees and no ICE officials. Yet they want us to believe that he was targeting law enforcement. 5 minutes after the ICE shooting was announced, Kash Patel instantly uploaded the bullets with blue Sharpie that said anti-ICE. What person that hates ICE says anti-ICE? They say ICE, and they wiped the shooter's page as soon as it happened. It was so fast. But when we take a look at who he was following, Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy, Jelly Roll. I don't know why they're always following Jelly Roll. JD Vance, Zeke Arkham, Back the Blue, All Lives Matter, Tucker Carlson, and they want us to believe he was from the left. Kamala is endorsed by the Diddy list. Choose wisely, America. Retweeting JD Vance to get him back into the White House. Hey, Democrats, you realize you're the bad guys, right? And he even supported Trump right after the shooting. Nothing in this ICE shooting makes any sense at all, and it feels like we're being lied to yet again. So when Trump answers a question in an interview about violence in America with another narrative, it's very easy to see where this is going. And the only people that can't see it is MAGA. And if that's not suspicious enough, Kash Patel, the FBI director, right after this, said we are going to chase left-wing groups down like the domestic terrorists they are. Everything is a narrative with these people. Let's take a look at Kash Patel's response.
And thanks to your recognition of this and this executive order and the AG's leadership to lead out and prosecute these individuals, we are properly going to chase them down like the domestic terrorists that they are, and our streets and our communities are going to be safer. The FBI and Treasury and DHS and DOJ are going to combine forces like never before to root out this new evil that is perpetrating our criminal activities across our societies. And we are just so thankful for your leadership and recognition of it. It's not easy to do.
Good job.
The narrative is so sane when the proof is right in front of their face that right-wing violence makes up the majority of political violence in America. And it's so bad that the DOJ deleted these statistics off of their website right after Charlie Kirk's death. And if you think MAGA's informed on any of this, take a look at this video of them booing somebody trying to relay this information to them. They are fully bought into the propaganda. Let's watch this video.
Why you support a president who contributes to the rhetoric that got your friend Charlie killed. We saw his rally recently. He said, "I hate my enemies." How can you support him when he contributed to what got Charlie killed?
Assumes facts, not in evidence. What you said is not true.
70% of political violence is committed by Republicans.
Okay.
Look it up.
That's not true
DOJ
either.
just pulled it. The DOJ just pulled it from their website. DOJ just pulled the study from their website because they're delusional.
That's not true because
They just pulled it. Look it up.
Once you
the
pull
DOJ pulled it from their website.
Once you
What?
pull the crazies out of there, it is overwhelmingly left-wing violence.
Google it.
We have had
Every single
No, I
person in the
understand.
audience, Google it right now.
Let's just make clear, this guy was motivated by leftist ideology. We know it from the bullet casings, we know it from the Utah governor, we know it from his own mother.
so-
Yes, we do. Let's be really clear on that.
Even if that's true, so then you're saying because, let's say this guy's a leftist, even if that's true, does that make it okay for the sitting president of the United States to incite violence against liberals?
The President of the United States has not accepted violence against liberals. The President of the United States made a joke. And by the way, Trump has every right to loathe his enemies. They tried to put him in jail for the rest of his life.
Rightfully
They tried to
so.
bankrupt him.
Rightfully so.
They tried to put
He's
his
a
family
criminal.
in jail.
He's a
And they
criminal.
tried to kill him.
Congratulations, brother. You are the most intelligent person in that room. This is the party of everything Trump said was a joke, but at the same time, he's justified in saying it because Trump is always right. And it's just so funny because we thought cults were a thing of the past. Like there were these rare findings you wouldn't hear about unless you saw it in a horror movie and they were in the woods about to sacrifice somebody. Well, it's here now. And they don't want to sacrifice one person. They want to sacrifice all of Trump's enemies, which on one occasion he said was 50% of this country. They are the enemies from within. These people are so lost with what's actually happening in their country. They are totally bought in. Right before Trump, if there was a disagreement and someone genuinely realized they were wrong, they would take that information, look into it, and improve as a person. And that's how society's always advanced. Now we have the President of the United States inciting a civil war and telling the right they're justified in however they decide to react to the violence that they are the majority of. So you mean to tell me the people committing 70% of political violence are now threatening more political violence? I would have never guessed. But it doesn't stop at civil war. Trump is coming for every single political opponent he has ever disapproved of. Stephen Miller just said there is an all-of-government effort to dismantle left-wing terrorism, to dismantle Antifa, who doesn't exist. But we're starting to read between the lines here. I'm starting to think they mean anybody on the left they don't like. That is their left-wing terrorism. I still don't know who Antifa is. But let's take a look at this imagined enemy Stephen Miller says we're going to face.
This is the first time in American history that there is an all-of-government effort to dismantle left-wing terrorism, to dismantle Antifa, to dismantle the organizations that have been carrying out these acts of political violence and terrorism. What we have seen, if you look at whether it be going back to the riots that started with Black Lives Matter and all the way through to the Antifa riots, the attacks on ICE officers, the doxing campaigns, and now the political assassinations, these are not lone, isolated events. This is part of an organized campaign of radical left terrorism. It is structured, it is sophisticated, it is well funded, it is well planned. There is really no parallel like this to anything else in the country right now. There is an entire system of feeder organizations that provide money, resources, weapons, and when they're attacking ICE officers, they're attacking federal buildings, or they're isolating public officials for harassment, doxing, intimidation, and ultimately attempted assassination. It is all carefully planned, executed, and thought through. It is terrorism on our soil. Because of this executive order, Cash and Pam are going to have the tools they need, working with Scott, to take these organizations apart piece by piece. And the central hub of that effort is going to be the Joint Terrorism Task Force, or JTTF, which sits inside the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But for those at home who are worried about terrorism in this country, they need to understand, because of President Trump's strength, because of his vision, because of his leadership, we are now going to use the entire force of the federal government to uproot these organizations root and branch. And again, that's only possible because of President Trump and his leadership.
These people are genuinely insane. These people actually believe that there is not one person in America that would protest against Trump. They think there is a trillion gabillionaire with puppet strings making people not like Trump. People don't like Trump because he's in the Epstein files. People don't like Trump because of the harm he's done to their communities. People don't like Trump because he is an awful person. A real president would denounce left-wing terrorism and right-wing terrorism and just call it terrorism, even though we know where most of it's coming from. People don't like Trump because he's destroying the economy. After his tariffs failed and bankrupted farmers, and they made videos begging him to get rid of the tariffs because their 7th generation family of farmers is now going to be homeless, he just announced more tariffs today. We will be imposing a 50% tariff on all kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and associated products starting October 1st, 2025. Additionally, we will be charging a 30% tariff on upholstered furniture. The reason for this is the large-scale flooding of these products into the United States by other outside countries. It is a very unfair practice, but we must protect for national security and other reasons our manufacturing process. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I thought this was a meme post when I saw it. This is real. And not only is this real, but he had more tariffs to add on top of that. Starting October 1st, 2025, we will be imposing a 100% tariff on any branded or patented pharmaceutical product. Here is Trump stuttering when he's asked about these additional tariffs he added and all the farmers he made homeless. Let's take a look.
We want to take our money. We're doing well because of tariffs. We're doing unbelievable. We're making more money than we ever have made. And by the way, we're going to take some of that tariff money that we made, just to get off the subject for a second. We're going to take some of that tariff money that we made. We're going to give it to our farmers, who are, for a little while, going to be hurt until it kicks in. The tariffs kick into their benefit. So we're going to make sure that our farmers are in great shape because we're taking in a lot of money.
Is it just me, or is Trump trying to manifest money that's not there? He's trying to manifest money that's not coming because American businesses pay the tariff, Trump, leading to increased product prices in America. And then they add that same cost to their products and sell it to us. So when you add a 100% tariff to pharmaceuticals, you're raising the price in America. But we can't expect Trump to know how the economy works, because even though the Federal Reserve told him no, we can't lower interest rates, because if we do, inflation is going to set off. Instead of talking to the experts further on this matter, he tries to get them fired. I would really hope Trump is not purposely trying to start a recession, because people like Warren Buffett got extremely rich off of the last recession we had back in 2008 and 2009. And let's not forget that Trump has tripled his net worth since 2025, since he's been president, and it hasn't even been a year. I mean, he sold the country a meme coin. So as far-fetched as it sounds, is Trump trying to start a recession? I would hope not, but let's take a look at this video.
But isn't it crazy? So I saw the market was down a little bit today. I mean, in all fairness, I don't feel guilty because we've set every record you can imagine. But it was down, and I say, oh, the numbers must be good. Meaning the growth numbers are phenomenal. And again, this is during, but a little bit of pre the heavy, the really success and the money pouring into our country through the tariffs. And I just say, why can't we have great numbers and lower the interest rates so we have even greater numbers? So people were saying, oh, the numbers are so good, they're going to have to raise interest rates. That doesn't have to happen. And there's no inflation. We have really, I mean, the only thing we have is great success. We're having unbelievable success. So the numbers are much higher than anticipated, except for by me and Scott and some of the other people, and they'll get a lot higher than that too. But I don't want to, every time we have good numbers, say, let's take all the juice out by raising interest rates. It's so backwards. It's so backwards.
Trump single-handedly destroys the economy, then blames everybody else around him for the consequences of it. They have to raise interest rates to combat Trump's inflation that he is telling MAGA doesn't exist, while we watch the price of everything increase. I mean, people are considering moving states because rent alone is getting out of hand. Now, Trump has an economics degree, but every time I hear him talk about economics, it makes me believe that somebody took those classes and got the degree for him. The reason we trade with other countries is because there's some products that they can make cheaper, better quality, and more of than we can. And we can focus our resources on the things we can make cheaper, better quality, and more of than they can. So everybody saves money working together. Not only does that help our economy as well as everybody else's for themselves, but it also helps prevent wars. Because if everybody's economically dependent on each other, people are less likely to want to disrupt these mutually beneficial relationships. And while it doesn't prevent war as a whole, we can look at it as a potential safeguard. I find it hard to believe that our president is acting in good faith when this is basic information any expert would tell you. He's actually out of his mind. I think he's using this presidency to get as rich as possible and then he's out. And if they elect him again in 2028, he's just gonna do it again. And all of his friends are gonna get rich too, so why would anybody stop him? If you're the one person to speak out against Trump when you're in his payroll, you're gone. You're broke too. You are now his political enemy. You might even go to prison. So congratulations, Trump. You are now eligible to be voted upon for the worst president we've ever had in this country. Economy's gone, community's gone. But you know what's not gone? The Epstein files. But according to the FBI, they're erasing Donald Trump's name in that too. And if you're MAGA and you made it to the end of this video, why do you still support him? It's all directly in our faces. Why do you still support this? I think we're all better together than divided by billionaires. But maybe that's just me. And lastly, we are headed into yet another government shutdown under Donald Trump. And that is because 5 million people are about to lose coverage under the Affordable Health Care Act. So Democrats are asking for an extension on the funding for it because it expires this year. However, Republicans don't want that to happen, and they want those 5 million people who are going to lose their health care to pay for premiums instead. And so here's what Trump had to say about that.
One thing they're concerned about, I mean, look, Republicans have total control of Washington. You guys have control of the House, the Senate, there's you.
Well, when you say control, so we need 60 votes for this, and we have 53 Republicans, so we need 7 Democrats.
And those 7 Democrats and others are asking for an extension of a tax credit on people who get the Affordable Care Act and some other government-backed health care. So are you willing to negotiate on
what
that
they're really asking for is they want to pay for illegal aliens that have come into our country by the millions and get onto the rolls, and they want to pay. And our people don't want to do that. Our people are taxed enough. You know, we just approved the largest tax decrease ever in the history of our country, including the extension of the previous Trump tax cuts. The tax cuts that we just approved, they want to use those tax cuts to give the money to illegal aliens, people that came into our country illegally and that are leaving the country.
So
you know, there's been a self-deportation because of what we've been doing that's been incredible. Okay, yeah, please.
The Affordable Care Act does not cover illegal immigrants. They cannot get health coverage under the act. They receive 0 money because you need to be a U.S. citizen to apply and be accepted. More lies, more propaganda, more narratives. Hate the immigrants, hate the Democrats, hate everybody, love Trump. Don't believe the news unless it's Trump's news. Donald Trump has capitalized on their hate and fear, making them lose all sense of critical thinking. But don't worry, Donald Trump will think critically for you. 32% of America didn't vote last time, and MAGA are fanatics, so we can assume the majority of that 32% has some common sense and actually want a future for their country. A future where if you are in the Epstein files, you face justice. And if you incite civil wars as a political leader, you face justice. So they can lie all they want, because at the end of the day, we're gonna be here to get the truth out. And last but not least, release the Epstein files, Donald Trump. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please make sure to have a great day. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.